tablespoons. You're thinking, well, I substitute serrano chilies? You could, but it won't taste the same. Here are the ingredients for our Thai green curry paste. We've got 3 teaspoons of coriander seeds, 1.5 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of white peppercorns. These 3 ingredients are going to get toasted for about 30 seconds to a minute on a hot pan before adding them to our mortar and pestle, and then we're going to pound them up. Next we've got 1.5 teaspoon of galangal and 3 stalks of lemongrass. We want approximately 3 tablespoons of lemongrass, and we only want the white parts. So that's what I've indicated by the 2 cut off portions here in the front. Just the white parts. And we're going to slice both the lemongrass up and the galangal before putting them into our mortar and pestle. So those are our basic 5 dry ingredients. Next are our wet ingredients. We're going to need 3 tablespoons of garlic. So I'm probably going to need a little bit more than what I've indicated here. We also need half a cup of shallots. And if you don't have shallots, you can use onions, but shallots would taste better. And we're going to use just the white part, or the roots of the coriander. We need approximately 1 tablespoon of coriander roots. We don't need the leaves for this dish, so you can use it for something else. Next we've got 15 Thai green chilies. Now that's the key to this ingredient, or this dish. If you can't get the Thai green chilies and you're thinking, well, I substitute serrano chilies? You could, but it won't taste the same. So if you can get the Thai green chilies, you'll be better off. Now you're probably thinking, well, if I wanted to make red Thai curry paste, could I just use these guys instead? The answer is no. To make red curry paste, you would substitute out these green chilies and use these dried red chilies. So that's the difference between red and green chili. Everything else pretty much remains the same. Now into our mortar and pestle, just at the end, before we finish off our pounding, we're going to add some coarse salt, which is 1 tablespoon, and some shrimp paste, which is 1 teaspoon. That all goes into the mortar and pestle along with all the other ingredients, and we're just going to pound away. So I'm going to prep everything and take you over to the next. It's nice and hot now, and how you know that is by putting a little bit of water on it, and it should sputter. Now we're going to add our coriander seeds, our cumin, and a white peppercorn. And we only need to heat it up for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, depending how hot your pan is, of course. I'm using my small element, so I'll probably take it up to 60 seconds. And we'll see at the next in a minute now, and these guys are pretty much ready to take off the heat. Turn off the element, and we're just gonna take it off the heat and let that sit. Here are the lemongrass pieces all sliced up. Now the reason why we need to slice it up is because it's very fibrous. And if you just cut them into chunks and stuck them in the mortar and pestle, it would take you forever to break them up. This will allow you to spend less time pounding them and more time enjoying the food. So I've got my lemongrass sliced up, my galangal is sliced up, my garlic, and my other ingredients. And lastly, my dry ingredients are in my mortar and pestle ready to get pounded. So here I have my 3 spices: coriander, cumin, and white peppercorns. They've been toasted up, cooled, and they're now ready to get ground up. Now it's really important to get them ground up because once we add our other ingredients, it's going to be really hard for these guys to break down. There you go. Now to that, I'm going to add my galangal. As you can see, it takes a little bit of effort, but you won't have to go to the gym after making this curry paste. And we're just going to do it in stages. So the galangal goes in first, after that will be the lemongrass, followed by the wet ingredients. So you can see now that the galangal and the 3 spices are indistinguishable from each other, and that's what you want. It's all broken up, and now we can add our lemongrass. I've added the lemongrass, and when you're pounding, you want to pound into the corner and drag it. If you pound it in the middle, it's going to splash over the place, so you want to be careful. So this is the consistency that you want. You can see I'm kind of focusing through the product there. Everything's fairly consistent and all the fibers are broken down. So now we're ready for our wet. So to our dry mix, I'm going to add the garlic, the coriander stems, and the shallots. So I'm just going to pound that up, and afterwards we're going to add the chili, the shrimp paste, and salt, and then we'll be finished. At this point the paste is looking really nice. It's got some moisture in there coming from the garlic and the shallots, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. So now we're going to throw in our chilies, salt, and shrimp. Got my 15 chilies in here. There goes my salt. Now the salt is necessary to help break down all of the all the other ingredients that are in here, and it's also for preserving the chili paste and of course for flavor. Lastly, we've got some shrimp paste. Okay, so now I'm going to start grinding that, and we'll get back to you in a moment. And here's the finished product. Should be thick enough and wet enough so that you can push it up the side of the mortar and pestle, and it should hold its shape just like this. Now you can probably do it a lot quicker by putting everything into a food processor, but I don't own a proper food processor, so I had to do it by hand. This took me a good 30 to 45 minutes. My arms are tired. So you can choose the method that works for you. Hopefully they both turn out the same way. I tasted the curry paste yesterday and I wasn't too happy with the spiciness. So I'm going to add 6 more green Thai chilies to the paste and blend it up. And instead of using my mortar and pestle, I'm going to use an immersion blender instead. That should give me some better consistency. I also wasn't too pleased with the texture, so rather than tiring out my arm again, I'm just going to use an immersion blender to blend it up. After a few seconds I realized it was safer to use a ceramic bowl rather than a plastic bowl to do this. Okay, that took me a whole 5 minutes to add the extra 6 Thai chilies, and the consistency is really good. I think in the future I'm going to be using an immersion blender instead of my mortar and pestle because it's faster, it's cleaner, and your arm doesn't get tired. So for my next video I'm going to show you how to make Thai chicken curry.